This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Marcus Adams has a great question here. He says, whatever happened to the Mulkeys? They were consistent enhancement talent in the TBS days. Any good Mulkey stories?
They're either night watchmen at the Walmart down in Anderson, South Carolina, or they're in the State House in Washington. I don't know. Somewhere in between. Those guys got to be two of the toughest men alive because they took some horrible beatings on television. I mean, remember Gumby and Pokey, the toys?
And when they won, by the way, it was huge.
Oh my God. Again, I popped. That one win is all they got, I'm pretty sure, ever on television. Pretty sure that's right. And man, it was the talk of the wrestling world, I think. Forgot, because you just didn't do that.
Right.
And TV time was too valuable, and you just didn't do that. I actually worked with one of those guys, and I don't remember when or what year, or I just can't place it, but I just, I saw how this thing was evolving. You got to a point that they were there every week and getting pounded. But if I'm a fan at home, I'm going, but you know what? They keep showing up.
Right.
After that beating last week, I'd have just said, piss on this. I'm going back to my day job. I'm going to join the National Guard or the French Foreign Legion, or, go crawl down in a sewer or something, but I am not getting beat up like that again. Next week, there they were. And so I decided I had like a single match with one of them. And I said, I'm going to just try this, because I wanted to make, every time I wrestled on TV, I didn't want to just eat a guy up.
Right.
That got old real quick. I wanted to do something that no one would expect. So we locked up, and I just kind of muscled him into the ropes, and, full of confidence, 100% that this guy was shitting in his pants already. He wasn't going to try anything. And when we broke, he slapped the piss out of me.
Wow.
That TV audience exploded. And I let that sink in for about 30 seconds, and he didn't follow up. He did the exact right thing. Matter of fact, he got away from me to the farthest corner and was like kind of cowering in the corner. And I just looked around and those people went ape shit. And I said, it's all I need right there. Closed in, shut him down, beat him. We were done. But I think it was really a moment. I didn't have to go off my feet. I didn't have to take it any further. It was just something nobody was expecting. And that's what we should be doing and used to do, is take our audience on a ride. And just that one thing for him. And he was backstage. It was like he was almost hyperventilating. But I was happy to do it for him, and it made the match and just helped me. And one of those things that you remember.
What about the Moondogs? Eric wants to know, did you ever work with the Moondogs, Spot or Rex?
Big rugged guys. Saw them work a few times. I think I wrestled Randy Colley one time in a little spot show when I was working for Georgia Championship Wrestling when it was his company. And I went to Atlanta with Matt Bourne and Paul Ellering. And after Matt got fired, I think I had one single match down in, it could have been Macon or somewhere, with Randy. And it was just one time. But I mean, I was aware of them. I saw them work as a team. They spent a lot of their time in Memphis, I think.
Joe wants to know, Arn, what did you think of the spinner belts?
Not a fan. Putting showbiz where it don't belong. Being a champion means it needs to look like a championship belt. We don't need to have sparklers tied to it or have it spinning. Championship means you're the best at what you do in the world or on television or in a tag scenario. It ain't broke, don't fix it.
Rob wants to know, who does Arn consider the all-time voice of professional wrestling?
Gordon Soley.
There you go. That's hard to argue.
And I don't think JR or Tony will not afford me that one. I'm sure. I think Soley was JR's hero.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about that not too long ago, earlier this summer, actually. Yeah, that's who JR would answer. I would answer JR just because that's who I grew up with. And I think that answer is more based on who you grew up with, and you grew up with Soley. So of course he'd be your answer.
It was my era when I was a fan, and to have him talking over my matches blew me away. And it was before my era, that was my era, and that's what I grew up on. And I enjoy both Tony and JR's work, but Gordon Soley would be the man for me.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.